Hey guys, quick and hopefully fun video today comparing some Instagram famous lashes with some super cheap Aliexpress lashes. They look really similar in terms of design, length, style, curve and all that. So I will wear one on each side of my face and we can take a look, have a comparison, and I will try and check in throughout the day to let you guys see how it's wearing, whether anything's popping off. Obviously, I'll be using the same glue and the same tools to apply both sets of lashes. I didn't even bother basically to change out my ratty t-shirt today just because, I'm just gonna be sitting at home, so let's not pretend that I'm fancy or I have anywhere fancy to go right now. The two pairs of lashes I will be comparing today are the Velour Lashes Caption This design and also this brand from China called LANJINLING. And these are the G305s. They come in a set of 3 pairs. Background to this is I ordered the Chinese brand long before I got a hold of the Velour Lashes, and these were just sitting around in my drawer somewhere. I've already used a pair. And then I received this as a gift a while ago, and as I was looking at the design, it suddenly just started to look really familiar to me. Now the G305s from China I purchased at $164 per box, which means it's about 55 US cents per pair. And of course here are the Velour Lashes Caption This, and you can see they have a very similar kind of a wispy flared out style. Not too long at the outer corners either, just slightly tapered but not a lot, so it's more of a rounded eye-opening kind of a style. Now you may be surprised to know on close inspection that the Velour lashes do tend to be very much more shiny looking than the G305. So they have that shiny synthetic plastic look to them, and if you're not careful, it's very visible. Also, you may notice that the cut around the edges of the lashes is a little bit more choppy, a little bit more uneven. It's not necessarily a bad thing because sometimes you want that fluffy, not so regular look. However, just in terms of workmanship and the quality, softness of the fibers used, I would have guessed that this was the cheaper pair. On the other hand, if you were to take a closer look at the G305s, you will see that the lash fibers, the synthetic fibers that they used, all come to a beautiful taper at the tips, so it actually has the appearance of mink lashes. One other difference you'll notice is that with the cheap lashes, the lash band is a little bit thicker. Now, unless the lash band is extremely thick and very stiff, it usually does not make too much of a difference. It's mostly down to personal preference. I know some people who prefer a slightly firmer, slightly thicker and sturdier band, and some people like it really thin because they want to be able to put this on over an eye look without wearing black eyeliner. These both look to be around a C curve, meaning when you're putting them flat, it almost points directly up towards the sky. Now that we've covered all that, I'm going to be putting these on. So the Velour lashes are going to go on the left side of my face and the G305s on the right side. I also want to point out that I have some eye makeup on. I did eyeshadows and a little bit of shading around the lash line. I didn't do a thick black line because I do want to see how the lash bands look and how they hold up against a softer eye look. And sometimes when you see reviews when people are already wearing a thick black liner underneath their lashes, it tends to hide any issues or difficulties during application. Now, I'm not saying it's bad, this is just purely for testing and review purposes. I do usually prefer to wear a bit of eyeliner underneath my lashes just to make it look more even. But my purpose here today is not to make my eye look as great as possible. I'm just here to let you see how the lashes perform. Now, I do have pretty long and wide eyes, so with a lot of lash styles, I find I don't actually need to trim or shorten them too much. However, these are a little bit more flared, meaning the lashes go outwards. So if they end too far near the corners of your eyes, it can go downwards and make your eye look a little bit droopy. So I prefer to take just a little bit off the ends for styles like these so that the outer lashes are still pointing sort of straight and up, not downwards. So I'm going to take off about 3 millimeters. I'm going to line them up. I think these would be an okay size. So if you can see, I've taken off the ends, and if I hadn't, this would have gone down here and then given me that droopy, sleepy looking eye. With some very stiff and very thick bands, you'll find that they keep wanting to straighten or pop out at an angle. So you run a higher risk of them popping off at the inner or outer corners throughout the day after your glue sort of weakens and wears off. Both of these seem fine, I'm happy to say. And to me, 60 to 70% of your lash application success rests on how strong your glue is, so don't use the really weak ones. Sorry, I'm blowing on it to speed it along, but if you are applying lashes on your clients, please do not blow on your lash bands. While we're waiting for the lashes to dry, if you're curious about my eye makeup, I am using this really old, really exclusive limited edition quad from Givenchy. Look at this, how beautiful is that? It's called Prisma again. I just love how daring the color combination is and how surprisingly wearable it is on the eyes. So bits of this are going translucent, it's time to apply it. I'm going to be using one of these applicators today, but you don't have to, or you could use normal tweezers as well. If you apply mascara to your own lashes before applying the falsies, it does keep your falsies a little bit cleaner, but your real lashes and your falsies will not be married together quite as nicely. Of course, you get more longevity and probably more uses out of your falsies that way. The second way is to apply the falsies first and then use black mascara underneath and then marry both your natural lashes and falsies together. That will give you a more seamless and more perfect application. But it also means more mascara is going to get onto your falsies, and then cleaning them for reuse is going to be a little bit more of a pain. See just from how tapered and fine the fibers are on this side that this is looking a lot more natural looking, even though lengthwise these are the same. Both are about touching my brows, but these have the slightly softer, more diffused look, whereas the Velour Lashes, which are a bit more chunky and chopped off at the tips, these would obviously give you a lot more visual impact from a distance. So if you prefer high glamour, high drama, then go for the Velour ones. One last tip before you leave the house: always kind of look down into a mirror, close one eye, and then just kind of push the lash fibers down slightly to double check that the lash band is attached to your lid the whole way, because I've seen a lot of people whose lash bands are not fully attached. There might be a gap here, gap there, or whatever it is, and then you wonder why your lashes come off in the middle of the day. Take the extra time for final check along the tops of the lashes, make sure everything's attached, and you won't have too many problems. And that's it for the application. I'm gonna go sit around for a few hours doing absolutely nothing, and I will check in a little while later to let you guys know how these have worn. Great, very quick check-in under natural light. So far both are still very comfortable, they're wearing okay. There is just one thing I noticed about the G305s. The lash band is a little bit shiny, which annoys me because no matter how I try and cover it with mascara or a little bit of black liquid liner, I'm just getting, you can see that shiny rim just under the lashes. Whereas on this side, they use a matte cotton fiber, so you can't really see the lash band, which obviously is a great thing to me. I just find it distracting when you can see that little band of plastic over there. So far, this is my one complaint about this one. As for this one, what is annoying me are just some of the really chunky tips or ends. It almost looks like I have a clump of mascara on the tip of that lash, and I don't. It just is this way naturally. So anyway, this is the midday check-in. Nothing's lifting yet. I think I did a pretty good job of getting these on, but I will just continue to monitor these and let you know how I get on with them.
Close your eyes with me, start imagining a world full of love. We can change the stars with our hands and hearts, make them shine on us. But no, don't worry, darling, they won't stop staring, but soon they'll be caring.
Okay, welcome back. It has been about 5 hours and these don't look like they're going to be budging anytime soon, so I would say it's neck and neck for the wear test. I did use the same glue, but at least you know that the lash bands, one is not stiffer or harder to work with than the other. They were both relatively easy to get on and I have no problems keeping them on. I did mention earlier that this lash band is a little bit shinier. You can see some reflectiveness if there's strong lighting around. So that is one of the bad points about the cheaper pair of lashes. As for the more expensive ones, obviously these are more shiny looking, but if you're not going to be interacting really up close and personal with too many people, I think it looks pretty good. The only thing I will say about these is the material makes these look cheaper than they actually are, so that's just one thing to bear in mind. Shape-wise on camera, I have to say these do look slightly more dramatic and give you a little bit more bang for your buck visually, simply because they have that slight taper, whereas these are rounded and they don't really get longer at the outer corner, so they will never look quite as dramatic as these. So if you want instant impact, then you may want to look for a shape that has a bit more of a taper. But I was just talking to my husband a while ago and just, you know, up front, when he was looking at me, he felt these actually looked nicer, more, well, natural looking. That's not necessarily a good thing if you're not looking for natural, but just wanted to put that out there because these have such fine fibers and they are, well, it's such a nice kind of like rounded symmetrical shape. So anyway, I think the main point is very clear by now that you don't necessarily need to spend a whole lot of money on these expensive lashes. Obviously, these shapes have been curated by a team of people and, you know, oftentimes these will give you more of a dramatic look. It looks nicer in pictures for Instagram and on social media. So generally, that's what you're paying for when you buy one of these branded lashes. As for these, obviously, not every single pair that you will find on Aliexpress or Taobao is going to look really, really good or be fantastic quality. It does take some trial and error. You will need to kiss a few frogs to find a prince. And, well, obviously, this is one of the princes, so I will definitely include a link to where I bought these in the description box below in case you are interested. Other than this, I don't really think there's that much to add on. I think, you know, the prices of beauty products these days has been democratized a lot with the internet and with online international shipping and shopping. So it's just knowing where to look and putting in the time. If you have specific favorites at a very, very good price that you want to recommend and you want to share with everyone, please leave a comment because I would love to know where you get some of your cheap and chic stuff as well. Until the next video, please stay safe and I will see you again. Bye!
Close your eyes with me.